Hi, my name is Dr. Stephen Long, and welcome back to the Character Wins program. Today we're going to be continuing our discussion on time management tools and strategies. Before we address today's skills, let's just review what we talked about previously. And the first two skills were organization and time allotment. And organization has three components: scheduling tools and priorities and coordination. Now, this tool is basically designed to help you save time so you can do the things that you want to do. And then the second tool, time allotment, is know where your time goes. It's difficult to manage your time if you don't know where it goes. Today we're going to be talking about two time management skills. One is evaluation, which is basically just getting a baseline of your time management skills. And the second is overcoming procrastination. And this is by far the biggest problem in time management. The purpose of the evaluation tool is to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and not only your strengths and weaknesses in time management, but also your study habits. And use the attachment, and it's quite self-explanatory, but basically what you want to do is not only self-evaluate, but get people who know you well, roommates, teammates, instructors, coaches, and on a 1 to 5 scale, you'll evaluate such things as how well you learn from lectures, how well you learn from textbooks, how well you prepare for exams, what are your time management skills, do you integrate and consolidate projects, these type of things. So just use the attachment. It's pretty self-explanatory, and then after that you'll see what your strengths and weaknesses are and what you need to work on. The final tool that we're going to be discussing is overcoming procrastination. And procrastination is simply putting off until later what you can be doing right now. And we're all susceptible to it. It's just part of being human. But there's two primary reasons why people procrastinate. And the first is avoidance. People just avoid doing the hard thing. And the second is just plain laziness or being sloth-like. And everybody indulges in that once in a while, but what we want to do is minimize the occurrence of it. And there's basically 4 components of the overcoming procrastination tool. And the first being coachable, followed by denying self-indulgence, followed by accepting responsibility, and finally the myth of sacrifice. The first component of overcoming procrastination is being coachable. And this is basically about pursuing the truth, being dedicated to the truth. And basically what you're looking to do is just identify what your strengths and weaknesses are. And this is why the evaluation tool is so important. And you may have avoided doing that. But basically being coachable is really about confronting your assumptions. And many people don't know what they don't know, and that scares them, so they just procrastinate about it. But what you want to do is just basically challenge your assumptions. Is that many people believe that perception is reality. No, truth is reality. And when you understand what the truth is, where you are in terms of your strengths and weaknesses, in terms of athletics or academics or any other part of your life, you're going to be much better off, because you can't get to point B unless you know where point A is. And goal setting is important, but it's really just a process of trying to get to point B. But if you don't know where point A is, then you're going to have a problem. And that's why being coachable is so important. Is you're actually looking to be criticized, and that is completely unnatural. But what is natural is to procrastinate. That is inherent in all of us. But what's going to separate you from other people is to be disciplined and to actually confront your assumptions. Currently, we live in the most indulgent society in the history of the planet. And basically what you want to do is just schedule the hard things. Is just do the hard thing first. The easy thing to do is procrastinate. But if you want to separate yourself, if you want to be separated from the mediocre, well then you want to do the hard thing. And procrastination is just an indulgence, just like food and alcohol are indulgences. And this country is just riddled with those. And some people indulge in food and alcohol, but I can tell you just about everybody indulges in procrastination. And if you want to separate yourself, this is the easiest way to do it. The single most important high-performance behavior is exhibited by people who first schedule and then accomplish the hard things. So schedule the hard things. Solve the most difficult problems. When I work with corporate executives, one of the initial things I have them do is do their hard things first thing in the morning. You don't have that luxury. Your schedule is somewhat fixed. And so you have to make the decision yourself, which makes it even a greater responsibility to do the hard thing first. The third component is accepting responsibility, and this is about choices. You either choose to accept the responsibility or you avoid the responsibility. That's what it comes down to. But you're still making a choice. Here's the reality. You may or may not have caused the problems that you face, but you still have to solve the problem. High performers choose to solve the problems. That's what separates them. It's that simple. They accept the responsibility. The final component of overcoming procrastination is the myth of sacrifice. And this is really a perception issue, is that many student athletes believe that they're sacrificing things. If you're receiving a benefit, then there can be no sacrifice. If you're investing in your student athlete experience, if you're investing in your future, then how can this be a sacrifice? See, sacrifice diminishes energy. But investment, that enhances your focus and enhances your energy. I remember working with an elite gymnast, and she was telling me about how she sacrificed her middle school and high school years. I said, well, what did you get out of it? And she told me all the benefits. And there was no way that it could have been a sacrifice because she came out so far ahead. So really, sacrifice is a myth. And if you perceive your student athlete experience as a sacrifice, then you're going to end up procrastinating about doing certain things, particularly the hard things. But if you perceive it as a benefit, if you perceive it as an investment, then it won't be a sacrifice any longer. It'll be an investment, and you want to invest in your future, and that's what the student athlete experience is all about. All right, to review, there's two more skills in the time management series, the first being evaluation, and just get a realistic assessment of not only your time management skills, but also your academic skills. And then finally, overcoming procrastination, which is the biggest impediment to high performance. And there's four components. First, deny self-indulgence. Is just do the hard things. Second, be coachable. Look for criticism. Look for the truth. Third, accept responsibility. Only you can solve the problems that you're facing. And finally, the myth of sacrifice. Just perceive this as an investment rather than a sacrifice. Your student-athlete experience is an investment in your future. Next week, we'll be continuing with this program. We're going to start value clarification. Until then, have a great week.